There are 3 SUVs sitting on used car lots right now that salespeople are basically begging people to take, and somehow nobody wants them. The first one? Mechanics secretly recommended. The second one? It's so reliable it's honestly boring. But the last one? That one is almost unfair. It shouldn't be this cheap for what you're getting. And yeah, people are still out here overpaying for a Toyota RAV4 like it's a limited edition sneaker drop. Welcome to Old Man Garage, where we don't care about badges, we care about not crying in a repair shop parking lot. I've spent over 2 decades under cars, around cars, and occasionally yelling at cars. And I've watched people ignore some of the best SUVs ever made just because the logo didn't impress their neighbor. Today we're fixing that. All right, let's start with one that confuses me every single time I see it sitting unsold. Number 3, the Mazda CX-5. This SUV has one of the lowest repair costs in America. And yet it depreciates like it offended somebody personally. I'm serious. This thing loses value faster than a brand new phone the moment you open the box. And that's great news, if you're the one buying it. I had a customer come in not too long ago, 2017 CX-5 Touring, about 160,000 miles on it. Original owner. She walks in like she's about to hear bad news. She goes, "All right, what's about to go wrong?" So I put it on the lift, check the suspension, scan the system, inspect the transmission fluid. I'm looking for something. Anything. Nothing. I mean nothing. At that point, I almost felt bad charging her for the inspection. I was like, "Ma'am, you basically brought me a perfectly functioning appliance." The only thing I told her, "Come back in another 30,000 miles. She looked at me like I just told her dog could do her taxes. Here's why these things are so solid. Mazda didn't try to be cute with this car. No turbocharger that turns into a ticking time bomb at 100,000 miles. No CVT transmission pretending to be smooth while slowly planning your financial downfall. Just a naturally aspirated 2.5-liter 4-cylinder engine, paired with a traditional 6-speed automatic. Simple, proven, boring. And boring is exactly what you want when you're talking about reliability. Mazda calls it the Skyactiv G engine, and here's the nerdy part. It runs a compression ratio of 13:1. That's high. Like sports car trying to impress someone high. But instead of blowing itself up, it actually improves fuel efficiency. You're looking at around 25 mpg city and about 31 mpg highway, depending on how heavy your foot is. And let's be honest, we all drive like we're late sometimes. Now let's talk money, because this is where it gets disrespectful. A 2018 Mazda CX-5 Touring with around 70,000 miles. You're looking at about $15,000 to $18,000. Meanwhile, a similar year Honda CR-V or Toyota RAV4, $20,000, $22,000, sometimes more if the dealer had a good morning coffee. That's a $5,000 difference for a car that, in many cases, will actually cost you less to maintain over time. Yeah, make that make sense. Let me give you real shop numbers. Most expensive repair I've personally done on one of these: water pump. Cost the customer about $580 total. That's not a repair bill. That's a mildly painful dinner in Los Angeles. Meanwhile, I've seen CR-V owners walk in with $900 surprises like it's a monthly subscription. Now, if you're shopping for one, here's what you check. First, the infotainment control knob. If it feels loose or weird, somebody before you treated it like a video game controller during a boss fight. Second, get it on the highway. Accelerate from about 45 to 70 mph. If you feel a vibration or hesitation, motor mounts might be worn. About a $400 fix. Not the end of the world, but don't pay full price like everything's perfect. Third, check the paint around the hood and rear wheel wells, especially on 2017 and 2018 models. Some of them had paint issues. Nothing catastrophic, but if it looks like it's peeling like a bad sunburn, negotiate. So who should buy this? If you want a reliable daily driver that won't drain your wallet, this is it. If you actually enjoy driving, like turning corners without feeling like you're steering a refrigerator, this is definitely it. Mazda somehow made an SUV that handles better than it has any right to. Who should skip it? If you need a ton of cargo space, yeah, it's a little tighter than a RAV4. If you're planning to resell in 3 years and want maximum value, the market still hasn't fully caught on to how good these are. And if you're trying to go full off-road warrior mode, this ain't it, Chief. Here's the simple math. Buy it for $16,000. Drive it for 150,000 miles. Spend maybe $2,500 to $3,000 total on maintenance. That's not a car. That's a financial cheat code. And the crazy part? It still gets ignored. which is perfect, because that means you can still get one before everyone else wakes up. Now, if this one already surprised you, the next SUV is the one mechanics actually smile when they see pull into the shop. Not because it's broken, but because it's so easy to work on, it almost feels like cheating. And real quick, send this video to that friend who's about to overpay for a boring SUV just because of the badge. You might actually save them a few $1,000s and a few headaches. Number 2, the Kia Sorento. Now this one is funny, because this is the SUV that people walk past on the lot like it just told an awkward joke. Meanwhile, mechanics are over here like, yeah, I'd trust that with my kids, and that right there should tell you everything. I had a guy come in last year, mid-40s, 3 kids, looked tired in the way only minivans and school schedules can make you. He was about to buy a 2017 Ford Explorer, 92,000 miles. Dealer wanted $1,800. He asked me to check it out. So I did what I always do. Pulled the history, looked at upcoming maintenance, checked common issues, and I told him straight up, you're about to spend almost $20,000 on a car that's going to ask you for another $3,000 real soon. That EcoBoost engine? Great when it's working. When it's not, congratulations, you've unlocked turbo problems and cooling system drama. He asked me what I'd buy instead. So I grabbed my phone, pulled up listings, and showed him a 2018 Kia Sorento SX V6. About 60,000 miles, $14,000. More power, less mileage, and about $4,000 cheaper. He looked at me like I just recommended pineapple on pizza, but he trusted me. Bought it. That was over a year ago. You know how much he's spent on repairs since? $112, and I wish I was joking. That was an oil change and a cabin air filter. That's not maintenance, that's a grocery run. Here's what changed with the Sorento, because older Kias, yeah, we don't talk about those. But from 2016 to 2020, Kia figured it out. The 3.3-liter V6, the Lambda 2 engine, is legit. Naturally aspirated. No turbo, no timing belt. Just a timing chain designed to last basically forever, or at least longer than most people keep their cars. And the transmission? A proper 8-speed automatic. Not one of those experimental dual-clutch setups that shifts like it's thinking about its life choices. This is a traditional torque converter automatic. Smooth, predictable, and durable. You know, like transmissions used to be before engineers started getting creative. Fuel economy is decent too for a V6 SUV. You're looking at about 19 mpg city and 25 mpg highway. Not Prius numbers, but also not sell-a-kidney numbers at the gas pump. Now let's talk about the part nobody pays attention to, but absolutely should. Warranty. Kia came out swinging with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. And depending on the vehicle's age and history, some of that coverage can still apply. That's basically Kia saying, yeah, we're pretty sure this won't break. And confidence like that matters. Now here's where it gets interesting. A 2018 Sorento V6 with under 80,000 miles, you're looking at around $13,000 to $16,000. Meanwhile, something like a Toyota Highlander from the same year, $22,000, $24,000, sometimes pushing $26,000. That's a difference of up to $10,000. $10,000. That's not a small gap. That's a vacation, a home upgrade, or like 10,000 tacos, depending on your priorities. And here's the thing. In real-world use, the reliability gap is not nearly as big as the price gap. Not even close. Now, if you're checking one out, here's what you want to look at. First, make sure you're getting the V6. The older 4-cylinder models, especially pre-2015, had some issues. We're not here for that. Second, test the AWD system. Find an empty parking lot, turn the wheel all the way, drive in a tight circle. If it clunks, binds, or feels weird, walk away. If it's smooth, you're good. Third, check the infotainment screen. Some of these had issues with delamination. Basically, the screen starts looking like it's melting internally. Not dangerous, just annoying. About a $300 to $400 fix. And fourth, look at the third row. And I mean really look at it. If it looks like a war zone, juice boxes exploded, mystery stains, crumbs from 2017 still alive and well, that car has seen things. And that usually tells you everything you need to know about how it was treated. So who should buy this? If you've got a family and need space without destroying your budget, this is a no-brainer. 3 rows, V6 power, solid reliability, And you're not paying the Toyota tax. Who should skip it? If you're obsessed with brand image, yeah, this isn't going to impress your neighbors. Nobody's ever said, "Wow, is that a Kia?" with excitement. But your bank account will be impressed. And honestly, that's the one paying the bills. Here's the bottom line. This is one of the easiest SUVs to live with. Simple to work on, cheap to maintain, reliable enough that mechanics don't lose sleep over it. The only reason it's still cheap? People are stuck in 2005 thinking Kia hasn't changed. And that's exactly why it's such a good deal. Now, if you think this one is underrated, the last SUV on this list is the one that people argue with me about. Until they drive it. And then suddenly, they get real quiet. The Toyota Highlander. Yeah, I know. Half of you just went, "Really? That's your big secret?" Stay with me. Because this right here is the SUV people disrespect for the dumbest reason possible. It looks like something your friend's mom drove to soccer practice in 2008. And because of that, people ignore it and go spend $8,000 more on something worse. Let me tell you about one of my favorite customers. She came in mid-40s, professional, long commute, wanted something reliable but a little nicer. Her budget? Around $28,000. She had been shopping for a Lexus RX 350. Good car, no argument there. But I asked her, "Have you looked at a Highlander?" She laughed, actually laughed, said, "That's a mom car." So I walked her outside, pointed to my own vehicle. 2016 Highlander Limited. At the time, about 190,000 miles. I told her I bought it at 85,000 miles for $19,500. You know how much I had put into it? About $2,000 total. And that included full brake job tires, water pump at around 175,000 miles. That's it. No drama, no breakdowns, no tow truck stories. She bought a 2017 Highlander XLE the next week. About $22,000, around 70,000 miles. She texted me recently. She's now at 140,000 miles. Zero mechanical issues. Her exact words? "Why does nobody talk about this car?" I'll tell you why. Because people buy with their eyes, not their brains. Now let's get into why this thing is so good. The 2014 to 2019 Highlander comes with the 3.5-liter V6, the 2GR engine family. And if you know anything about Toyota, you know that engine is basically immortal. Same DNA as what you get in the Lexus RX. Same block, same engineering philosophy. Just without the luxury tax. No turbo, no timing belt, timing chain, no nonsense. Just an engine that wakes up every morning and goes, "Yeah, I'll do another 300,000 miles. Why not?" I've personally seen multiple of these go over 300,000 miles. Not internet story miles. Real cars, real customers, original transmissions. The kind of reliability that makes mechanics slightly bored and very happy. Now let's talk transmission. If you go 2017 and newer, you get an 8-speed automatic. Smooth, efficient, and tough. 2014 to 2016, 6-speed automatic. Also solid, just slightly less efficient. Either way, you're not dealing with anything fragile. Fuel economy? For a V6, it's actually respectable. Around 20 mpg city and about 27 mpg highway. Again, not hybrid numbers. But for a 3-row SUV that can haul your family, your dog, and your questionable Costco decisions, that's solid. Now here's where it gets ridiculous. A 2017 Highlander XLE with around 80,000 miles, $20,000 to $24,000. Now compare that to a similar Lexus RX 350, $27,000, $30,000, sometimes more. That's a $7,000 to $10,000 difference for vehicles that are mechanically cousins. And if you go look at a Toyota 4Runner, now you're talking $32,000 to $38,000 for less space, worse fuel economy. But hey, it looks cool at Whole Foods. Now let's talk real maintenance. Brake pads all around, about $300. Transmission fluid service, around $200. Water pump, if it ever goes, roughly $600 to $700. These are normal numbers, not I need to sit down numbers. If you're shopping for one, here's what you check. First, dashboard condition. Some 2014 to 2016 models had issues with cracking in hot climates. Toyota extended warranties on that, so check if it was fixed. Second, tire wear. If the front tires are worn unevenly, alignment was ignored. Not a deal breaker, just negotiate and fix it. Third, infotainment system. Test everything. If the screen lags or doesn't respond properly, you're looking at about a $400 replacement. And here's the pro tip. Find one owned by older people. I'm serious. Empty nesters, garage kept, maintained on schedule, driven gently. A Highlander owned by grandparents? That's basically a brand new car with stories. So who should buy this? If you commute long distances, perfect. If you want Lexus-level reliability without Lexus-level pricing, perfect. If you have a family, even better. The second row is huge. The third row is actually usable. Who should skip it? If you want something flashy, yeah, this isn't it. Nobody's breaking their neck to look at a Highlander. If you want sporty driving, also not it. This thing drives like what it is, a comfortable family SUV. And if you're planning to climb mountains, get the 4Runner. This one prefers roads, not boulders. Here's my final take. If I had to buy one SUV today, keep it for the next 10 years, and spend the least amount of money possible over time, I wouldn't even think twice. I'd buy another Highlander. So there you go. 3 SUVs the market forgot, but mechanics didn't. The Mazda CX-5, cheap, reliable, and way more fun than it should be. The Kia Sorento, practical, durable, and criminally underrated. And the Toyota Highlander, the smartest SUV purchase most people will never consider. Next time you're on a dealer lot and someone tries to sell you something premium with a monthly payment that feels like rent, you'll know better. If this helped you, hit that like button. It tells the algorithm you're trying to make smarter decisions. And honestly, we need more of that. Subscribe to Old Man Garage for more no BS car advice. And remember, take care of your car, so it doesn't take care of your wallet.